everyone, welcome to Lizzie's Little Library and the Newbery Project. Today's book is the 1968 winner called From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler. I have always known about this book. I just never read it, and I don't have a reason why. It's just, I don't know. It's one of those books that I guess I was so busy reading The Babysitter's Club that I just never read this one. The author is E.L. Konigsberg. I have read other books from her. My favorite one was, I think it was called 19 Schuler Place. It was really good. Very sweet book. One interesting thing about this, the author has won the prize twice. She will later win for, I'm completely drawing a blank and I don't have it written down, The View from Saturday. Did she write that, or was that Rebecca Stead? I'm not sure. She wins another book about 20 years after this one. And what is super interesting and impressive about this year is she got both the win for this one and she received an honor in the same year. She is the only author who is able to make that claim. So this book, the format begins with a letter from Mrs. Frankweiler to her lawyer explaining why she is changing her will. The rest of the book is that explanation. Our main character is Claudia Kincaid, 12 years old, who decides she needs an adventure. But she doesn't have any money, so she convinces her 9-year-old brother to come with her, only because he has the most money of her couple siblings. They run away to New York City and live at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. What an amazing premise for a story. I love it. What a grand adventure. While staying there, they have adventures, and since they are missing school, they make a promise to learn something every day. They generally tag along with school groups and learn from the tour guides. One day, there is a huge line, and they discover a newly acquired piece of art. It is a 2-foot-tall sculpture of an angel that was donated by the titular Mrs. Frankweiler. It may have been created by Michelangelo. Claudia is determined to find out the truth, even though the museum curators are still debating amongst themselves and with other experts. Her quest for knowledge leads them to Connecticut, where they meet Mrs. Basil E., who offers them a challenge. She knows the answer as to the sculpture's pedigree, but she likes having that secret. She understands that Claudia feels the same. The children solve the mystery. Then the end is very sweet, where they agree to make Mrs. Frankweiler their honorary grandmother, visiting her every time they have bus fare, but keeping her grandmother's status a secret from her. The end. This book was adorable. I have no idea why I've never read it. I would have absolutely loved this book as a child. The kids were funny. Their adventures were super humorous, even if they were completely far-fetched. For example, while they were in the museum, they slept in a Renaissance bed. You can't do that, kids. When they needed to bathe, they bathed in a fountain, and they collected coins that people had tossed in, that it was a wishing well type fountain. They also they planned to go, so they packed clean clothing and toiletries and stuff, and they carried all of this in their musical instrument cases, which they hid inside ancient vases inside the museum. And I thought that was funny. This book, it was super unrealistic. I generally don't like that, but this one, it worked for me. What helped it work is the setting was completely realistic. Their behavior was maybe not behavior we would encourage for children, but it was completely within the realm of normal human behavior. I'm glad the mystery was solved at the end. I don't like books that leave us hanging. I would have been really disappointed if they were trying to figure out, well, did Michelangelo sculpt this? Did he not sculpt it? And the ending was, I don't know, maybe. So I'm glad that the children got a definite answer on that one. There are a couple quotes that I want to read because I think they are funny. This is on the bottom of page 22 going on to 23. It's the end of chapter 1. I'm reading the paperback edition. Jamie waited while she thought. Well, what do you say? Want to wait until Friday? Claudia hesitated only a minute more before deciding, no, we have to go on Wednesday. I'll write you the full details of my plan. You must show the plan to no one. Memorize all the details, then destroy my note. Do I have to eat it? Jamie asked. Tearing it up and putting it in the trash would be much simpler. No one in our family but me ever goes through the trash. And I do, only if it is not sloppy and not full of pencil sharpener shavings or ashes. I'll eat it. I like complications, Jamie said. So I thought that was funny. He's a goofy little kid. And then the next one is on page 27. This is at the very top of 27. So Jamie got most of his money. He and his friend play cards when they're on the bus coming home from school. And Jamie kind of cheats and hustles, and the friend pays him. It's the agreement that they have. Jamie, she whispered, what's all that racket? Jamie stopped, and so did the noise. What racket? He demanded. You, she said. You are the racket. What in the world are you wearing? And then so on and so forth. What are you wearing that makes so much noise? $24.43. How come all your money isn't change? It rattles. Bruce pays off in pennies and nickels. What did you expect him to pay me in? Traveler's checks? So I like Jamie. I find him rather snarky. At one point, he's trying, so they hide in the bathroom early in the morning before the janitors get there. And one day, I don't have this marked exactly, but one day he's there too early and the janitor sees him and says, where did you come from? And Jamie smiles at him and says, Mother says I came from heaven. All right, so this next quote is 31. Very brief. Claudia appointed him treasurer. He would not only hold all the money, he would also keep track of it and pass judgment on all expenditures. And the last quote I want to read is from page 35. Jamie has brought a compass. He thought that was an essential to take to New York City. And they are walking to the museum from the train station. And Claudia's kind of making fun of Jamie. Head due northwest. Head due northwest, she mimicked. Can't you simply say turn right or turn left as everyone else does? Who do you think you are, Daniel Boone? I bet no one's used a compass in Manhattan since Henry Hudson. So just a couple samplings. I thoroughly liked this book. Again, I have no idea why I never read it as a child. I would have loved this book as a child. I thought it was fantastic as an adult. So I would encourage this book, really recommend it to pretty much anyone. I would recommend it to the target audience, which is, does it give us the book reading level? I think it's about a 5.5. It's a 5.6. I think fifth graders would like it. I think middle schoolers would like it. I think struggling high schoolers would like it. I read the entire book in one day. I could definitely see adults wanting to read it. Sometimes we just need a little break. And I thought this was great. It would be a great book, to toss in your bag and read it while you're traveling. It was really, really good. I gotta say, at this point, I think this is my favorite of the Newberys that I have read in my Newbery Project. The next book I'm not very excited about. It's called The High King. It is very heavy fantasy, and it is the 5th book in a series. I have not read the first 4, so I actually haven't read that one yet. I've been reading some other books in the meantime. This one, though, great book. Easily A+, 10 out of 10, whatever scale you want to use, from the mixed up files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.